Good day. This is Group 2. Our report is about computer software.
Yan, magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Ating pong tatalakayin ngayong araw na ito is patungkol po sa software trends. So, why we need to know trends, specifically in software. Ngayon kasi, kung ikaw ay magiging developer, kailangan mo talagang malaman yung mga trends ngayon, ngayong araw, ngayong taon, or ngayong month, dahil yun yung magiging basis mo in building an efficient and effective software. Pero this time, ating pag-aaralan lamang is yung trends ngayong taon at paano sila naging effective this year. Ano yung naging interesting sa kanila at ano yung mga use nila sa technology ngayong taon. What are the software development trends for the second half of 2020? It's clear that this is a year like no other. The current crisis has turned the world upside down, forcing companies to manage new technology challenges and review their digital strategies. Digital has become the main channel of interaction and engagement with customer. Kaya nga sinasabi ko kanina, if we are going to neglect trends, ay posibleng yung i-develop nating software ay maging list doon sa mga kalaban natin. Kalaban ng company nyo, if ever. Kaya talaga concrete na basis yung pag-study or kapag may alam ka kung ano yung trends ngayong taon or ngayong month, dahil yun yung magiging basis mo kung paano mo i-grow at magiging sufficient or efficient yung software na gagamitin mo. Another one, sabi dito, at this unique point in history, software development has never been more important and developers are essential to enterprise innovation. Companies are relying on developer problem-solving harness to help differentiate their companies by designing and delivering more apps that improve operational performance and customer experience. So, yun din yung isa sa mga objectives mo when you are going to do or going to make a software. Kailangan customer-friendly, kailangan interactive yung design, kailangan interesting yung names and yung function ng software mo. Kaya talaga kailangan ng isang developer na malaman kung ano yung trends dahil doon siya kukuha ng idea kung paano niya i-develop yung kanyang software. So, dito na tayo sa ating research na mga function na pwede mong gamitin when you are going to develop a software. Number one is AI-assisted development. Sabi dito, some development platforms have added AI capabilities to increase the speed and ease of developing. In the case of OutSystem, we fuse AI seamlessly into the user and developer experience with AI Fusion. So sabi nga kanina, mas nagiging convenient na yung isang application or yung isang bagay na ginawa mo if it is an AI-operated system. Dahil pwede mong kausapin lang siya using voice ng boses mo. Di ba? Pwede din mo siyang i-maniobra kahit nasa malayo ka, hindi ka nang lalapit pa para pindutin yung mga button, which is very convenient at very innovative. Kaya if you're going to be a developer, ito yung mga isang bagay na magiging basis ko para improve yung system na gagawin ko, yung software na gagawin ko. Number 2 naman, sabi dito is AI for application. Very interesting topic dahil marami na yung mga company nagde-develop ng ganitong bagay. Sabi dito, AI uses a competitive differentiator today. Tama yun. It can expedite an outcome and enable more informed decision making and deliver more relevant and meaningful customer experience. So the prediction that the growth of using AI to power business processes and CXs will be enormous is spot on. Example ng mga AI na application, ito yun, manufacturing robots, smart assistants, business mapping, automated financial investing, virtual travel booking agent, social media monitoring, inter-team chat tool. Sa mga sinabi kong list, makita mo talaga kung ano yung epekto ng AI sa mga application. Tingnan mo, have you ever heard yung automated financial investing. That is very interesting. Kung ikaw yung customer or ikaw yung company, magiging, ano ka talaga, magiging interesado ka dahil napaka-innovative yung ginagawa ng isang system na yun. So, isa to, or pangalawa to sa mga i-consider dapat natin when we are going to make a software para yung gagawin nating software, kaya nang sinabi ko kanina, is maging efficient at maging trend siya. Next one, number 3 po is yung robotic process automation, which is very interesting topic din at kailangan na talaga natin matutunan to. Sabi dito, maraming organization daw na nag-implement na ng RPA para ma-achieve yung higher levels of efficiency. Ibig sabihin, very interesting at very efficient at convenient if you are going to use this kind of method. Diba? Pero siguro optional din to sa'yo or ikaw bahala kung ano yung gagawin mong discard. Diba? Ngayon, there are robotic processes na may narinig ako yung uh, si nakalimutan ko yung tawag pero ang tawag nila doon is yung robot na friendly robot which is RPA siya. Diba? If we're going to make like that, sobrang magiging talaga ng ating application at magiging trend yun dahil saan ka naman nakakita ng di ba, robot tapos nagkakaroon kayo ng conversation within human. Di ba? So ito yung sa mga isang dapat natin consider if we're going to build a trending software. Number 4 is progressive web apps or PWAs. Ngayon dito sabi dito, PWAs are hot right now. This type of app combines the functions of native apps and website accessibility without involving the app stores like native apps. PWs can work offline, send push notification, and access device hardware such as cameras or GPS. The user experience are similar to to native apps on mobile and desktop devices without downloading or updating hassles. Yun, di ba? As we read the meaning of a PWA is, it is obvious na sobrang dynamic nung website natin if ganun yung gagawin nating method. Diba? Very accessible, hindi siya mahirap i-access at napakadali lang talagang maintindihan. Right? If you're going to be a website developer, ito yung dapat yung mga i-consider nung gawin. Dahil hindi lang siya convenient, efficient din siya. Which is very helpful din sa mga unfortunate nating mga kababayan dahil di naman lahat sa atin is nakaka-access ng wifi. Maybe meron mga cellphone pero hindi palaging may mga wifi. Kaya mas maganda talaga itong ganitong way of development. Last, new dual speed development. New dual speed development. Sabi dito, in many organization software, development is progressing at dual speeds. While one software development team is using tools to accelerate application delivery, another team continues operating as it always has. While there's nothing wrong with that, and there may be good reason for it, particularly in highly regulated companies, creating haves and have-not is likely to cause cultural tension in an organization. Dahil nga sobrang gusto natin maging maayos yung software natin, minsan nagkakaroon ng conflict between human work and yung system work. Kasi merong mga application talaga na kailangan ng manual manipulating. Pero sabi dito, yung pinaka-focus niya is yung pag-increase ng speed ng isang software. Like, walang lag, walang bug, walang kahit anong makitang pixelated na na graphics dun sa application mo, dun sa software na de-develop mo, which is very good, pero maaaring magkaroon ng effect dun sa team na pinagsasalihan mo. So, maganda siya gawing basis din, pero let's be careful din dahil minsan ito din nagdudulot ng trouble eh. Pero sabi nga dito, according dito, sa ating binasang um, meaning niya is napakaganda niya dahil hindi lang ni-improve yung software itself, pero yung speed ng software na sobrang galing. Dahil ito yung mga kailangan natin nowadays. Mga mabilis na software na walang lag, walang pixelated sa graphics, at maganda yung process. At if you're going to build an software, you should consider this. It might be very broad kasi nga sobrang high level na na development na nito. Pero if going to talk about innovation talaga, ito talaga napakatindi nito, napakagaling nung idea. So, yun lamang po dito sa ating software trends. Maraming salamat. Operating system. Whether you have a laptop, desktop, smartphone, or tablet, your device has an operating system, also known as an OS. In the next slide, the video will play to show what an operating system is and talk about a few of the most common operating system. In this slide, the video will help us refresh our understanding about OS. Did you know that you and your computer speak different languages? It doesn't speak Spanish, or Swedish, or Chinese. It speaks in ones and zeros. You can't communicate directly with your computer, but that's where your operating system comes in. The operating system, or OS, is the program that lets you interact with your computer. Together, the operating system and computer hardware form a complete system that determines what your computer can do. There are many different operating systems. Two of the most common ones are Microsoft Windows and Mac OS. Windows comes preloaded on most personal computers, while Mac OS runs on all new Macs. Operating systems aren't just for desktop and laptop computers. Mobile devices run mobile operating systems, like Apple iOS or Google Android, which are designed for interactions with smaller touchscreens. Before downloading a new program or application, be aware that it may not be available for your operating system. Some applications work on all devices, while others only work on certain ones. So get to know your operating system to see how it works and what it can do. So let's have a definition of operating system. An operating system is a system software that acts as an interface between the user and the computer hardware and controls execution of all kinds of programs. So, ang ibig sabihin ang operating system is a software. A type of software which is a system software that acts as an interface. Interface is a shared boundary across which two or more separate components of a computer system exchange information. The exchange can be between software, computer hardware, peripheral devices, humans, and combination of these. So, they use operating systems communication. In this slide, giving a graphical representation of how OS interacts in between from user after hardware going back to user. Function of OS includes memory management, processor management, device management, file management, networking management, security management, control over system performance, job accounting, error detecting aids, coordination between other software and user. To work with the system, the user needs to be. Next are the examples of OS, like Linux, Android, MS-DOS, Mac OS or yung Apple, and Microsoft Windows.
Microsoft Windows, one of the example of operating system. On the right is a clip about the evolution of Windows. So what is Microsoft Windows? Microsoft created the Windows operating system in the mid 1980s. There have been many different versions of Windows, but the most recent ones are Windows 10. Released in 2015, Windows 8 released in 2012, Windows 7 released in 2009, and Windows Vista released in 2007. Windows come preloaded on most new PCs, which helps to make it the most popular operating system in the world, and primarily targeted to Intel architecture-based computers. First released in 1985 as an operating environment running on top of MS-DOS. Macintosh OS or Mac OS, previously called OS X, is a line of operating system created by Apple. It comes preloaded on all Macintosh computers or Macs. Some of the specific versions include Mojave, released in 2018, High Sierra, released in 2017, and Sierra, released in 2016. Linux, one of example of OS again, which is a family of open source Unix-like operating systems based on the Linux kernel. An operating system kernel first released on September 17, 1991 by Linus Torvalds. Is structures of OS, including accounting, protection, resource allocation, backing store management, input-output control, memory management, NACLI use, and before the hardware. NACLI use is which is the kernel, is the lower command or the program, is a small program that interacts with the hardware.
What is database? Ang isang database ay isang electronically stored ina- is electronically stored information sa loob ng isang computer system. Ah, ang database ay nag-organize ng mga data upang makumpleto ang isang information na kailangan sa nakataong system. Ano nga bang pinagkaiba ng database at spreadsheet? Ang database ay mas malawak kaysa sa spreadsheet. Ang spreadsheet ay kailangan lang ay kaya lang mai-handle ng isa o dalawang user para sa mga datang i-store nito. Samantalang ang database ay kayang mag-manipulate ng napakaraming data at kayang tumanggap ng napakaraming users sa isang system lamang. Evolution of database. Database have evolved dramatically since the inception in the early 1960s. There are navigational databases na nakatalaga sa mga hierarchical database. Ito ay relied on tree-like model and allowed only one-to-many relationship. And the network database, isa Isa 'tong mas flexible na model na kayang tumanggap ng iba't ibang relationship. Lumawak ang database hanggang sa 1980s kung saan nadiskubre ang relational database at mas naging sikat ito. Sumunod ang mga object-oriented database hanggang sa 1990s at hanggang ngayon na nagkaroon ng NoSQL database na pwedeng mag-response to the growth of the internet and the need for a faster speed. At napakaraming uri ng database system at hindi ko natatalakayin dahil sa raming ito. Isa rito ang relational database, object-oriented database, distributed database, data warehouse, MySQL database, graph database, OLTP database. Ang mga ito ay madalas na ginagamit sa pangkaraniwang system. Marami pang iba't ibang database na ginagamit, ngunit hindi ko na sinama dahil ang iba ay hindi na ginagamit ng iba.
What is telecommunication? Telecommunication system is a specialized system for communicating at a distance. The term telecommunication, sometimes also referred as telecom, a device refers to the exchange of information by electronic and electrical medium over a significant distance. An arrangement which is made up of two or more stations with equal number of transmitter and receiver devices is a telecommunication system. There are telecommunication devices. These are telephones, telegraph, radio, microwave communication, arrangements, fiber optics, satellites, and the internet. Telecommunication is a vast range of information transmitting technology, such as phones, landline telephone, VoIP, and broadcast network. Data transmitted in the form of electrical signals known as carrier waves, which are modulated into analog or digital signals to transmit information. Now let's talk about the components of telecommunication. The telecommunication system is emphasis of some of the essential components that transmit data from one end to another through an electronic medium, and each component performs different tasks. Now, now learn that the component exactly and tasks performed by each component. One of the most important components required in the computer is to process information. Then input or output devices to send and to receive data, which are also referred as terminals. Input and output are starting and stopping poles of any communication. In network, these terminals known as nodes says if we take real life examples, then mobile phone or landline is the example of terminals. Communication channels that link the terminals with the various way of cables and wireless radio frequencies to transmit and receive data. Communication processor like modem, which provide control and support functions, and to help convert the signal from one form to another by providing communication support for data transmission and reception. Communication software is used to manage the network and specify the protocol which handle the telecommunication system and also handle the control the activities and functionality. Now let's move on to the functions of telecommunication. Since terminals and nodes are connected randomly in the network, so these systems route the message along the most efficient paths that take minimum time to send message to the receiver end. Transmission of the data and reception of the message is done in interrupted way and comes shortest path in minimum time. These systems also ensure that right message received by right user only and while transmitting is also checked for transmission errors. As we know, network use different software and hardware to transmit data via communication channels, and that vary with a different medium. So telecommunication is responsible for converting and managing speed of the transmission independent of the platform. Also convert message from one format to another because information represented in different way to different platform. Control the flow of information that depended on the communication channels and the terminals used to transmit information. So the system control both of them accordingly.
Application software is commonly defined as any program or number of programs designed for end user. So, yung mga karamihan ng mga tao, ginagamit nila yung term na application software to talk about bundles or groups of individual software application. Tas yung iba naman, ginagamit nila yung tinatawag din nila itong application program na nagre-refer to individual applications. Image processing is a set of computational techniques for analyzing, enhancing, compressing, and reconstructing images. So, yung main components ng image processing are importing, in which an image is captured through scanning or digital photography, and analysis and manipulation of the image. Next is computer graphics. This process starts with simple object rendering techniques that transform mathematical representation of three-dimensional object into a two-dimensional screen image, calculating projection transformation of vertices as well as occlusion of and depth of objects. So, yung interested na entire process ng computer graphic is the process of creating computer generated imagery from creating digital three-dimensional models to the process of texturing, rendering, and lighting those models to the digital display of those rendering on the screen. So yun nga, sa meaning pa lang, parang representing niya yung three-dimensional objects into a two-dimensional screen image. Next is multimedia presentation. Multimedia presentation is a standalone presentation that includes information presented with slides, video, or digital representation which includes sound which might be a narrative, music, or sound effects. So, yung pinaka-possible use ng multimedia presentation is to promote a business, showcase special events such as county fair or graduation and etc. So yung karamihan na ginagawa natin katulad ng mga PowerPoint, uh, music video, isa na rin siyang example ng multimedia presentation. And that's all. Thank you po.